Good morning, everybody. Clinton here with Oval Window Racing. Gonna be a short video today. I think I'm just gonna do a little update for you. And one of the updates you can probably see there in the background. But yeah, that's a brand new purchase. And if you guys are wanting to walk around or would like me to do a walk around, please leave a comment down below. Yeah, we've just recently had a bunch of rain, and my pond in the backyard, I don't normally have a pond in the backyard. And if you see the cattails, I don't know if you can get a good shot with the GoPro, but yeah, it's probably about 4 feet deep down in there. But yeah, we'll go back into the garage and I'll give you some updates on what's going on in there. Yep, there's a sad sight to see. Probably already mentioned before that I was pulling the engine. Well, I got it all out. Being like most of you guys, unemployed at the moment, I've had lots of opportunity and a lot of time on my hands, so yeah, I did get it out. We'll come here and see, I got the steering wheel on there. I did a little modification with my steering wheel because I didn't want to pull the crank pulley off, because then it's going to mess up the timing of the crank sensor and stuff, which isn't too big of a deal. It's just one more step I got to do when I go put it back in, is to set the timing and get it adjusted properly. But yeah, got the short down to the short block, and it's probably about as far as I'm going to go, because I don't really see any problem with the rods here. They all seem to move freely. Hopefully I don't regret that in the future. And still got the clutch, flywheel, everything on. Just got to make sure I get all the silicone cleaned up really good. That is the scary part. But yeah, the clutch seemed to work really well last year too, and hopefully I don't regret changing that. Yeah, messy pieces and parts. Got them scattered all over. I did take the opportunity to paint a few more things. I already had the, probably don't want to see my mic wire. I already had the cylinder and the fan painted, but I didn't have the back tin painted. I do run that. I did paint the lower cooling tins. They were rusty. These are actually stock pieces. Sometimes I run the super cool 10s, but I wanted to try these out. And I didn't really notice too unnecessary engine temperature. And then I painted those. Yeah, I didn't notice any excessive heat, but I never did get out on the highway and do any long trips at 70 and 75 mile an hour. Most of my driving was back roads, 55, 60 mile an hour, and the car ran really nice. Over here, we'll uncover the cylinders. I didn't find any problems with the cylinders or the rings, so I just gave them a good cleaning and honed them up and checked the gaps and put them back together. Next will be to get a deck height. I was running about 95 thousandths deck height, turbo engine with I think it's 54cc chambers. Worked out to be about 9 1/4 to 1 compression. And I don't know, for turbo engine, some people say that's high. Like I said, I didn't really notice any really excessive heat, but I think I'm going to try to bump it up just a little bit more and run about 10 to 1. The idea, run a little bit higher compression, because my plan is to run E85 or try tuning E85, and I was looking at cylinder. I got these laid out like it would be an engine. Like we're looking at the pulley side here. It'd be cylinder 1, 3, 2, and 4. Cylinder 1 and 2 looked really good, but I did have a couple of marks, a couple scratches. I couldn't feel them with my fingernail, but 3 and 4 were questionable. I'm going to run them anyways, because a low budget guy here, and right now being unemployed, I don't have money to go out and buy bigger cylinders. But if I do have to buy some cylinders, saving the money up, I'd like to get the ones where they make this surface a little thicker. Meaning the heads would have to be machined for them, but they'll handle a little bit more boost, a little more heat, and maybe some that are a little longer, so I don't have to run big old shim like this in there. I don't like running a whole lot of shims if I don't have to. It just makes it harder to install everything. But yeah, got the push rods, intake, some more tools. Oh yeah, the big turbo. And future project here, I got a 76mm crank in the works. Probably going to do that as a budget build, another budget build. Yeah, I'm a budget kind of guy. But yeah, I'll probably be a little mouse motor, or what they call a sweep the floor motor. Find whatever parts I got lying around and see what kind of power I can make out of it. And I'm hoping that's going to be a good candidate right there. Well guys, I'm sitting here reviewing my deck height, and the first numbers I gave you must have been wrong. I don't know if I wrote them down wrong or what I did, but I had over 160 thousandths deck height, I'm assuming, judging by what I have here, because I took 50 thousandths out and I still got like 110. So the 160 would have gave me like a 8 point, let me look at my calculator here. Yeah, it would have gave me like an 8.1 compression ratio, which is probably more like what it was. If I put it now with 110 thousandths, it's going to be like 8.9 to 1, which is kind of what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to go up about a point and give that a shot. If, you know, things run hot or I don't like it, I can always go back. It just means more work, which is always garage time. I like stainless steel pushrod tubes. And a little trick, reusing these. See if I can do this. I'm gonna hold the camera. Put this up over. Okay. Hold the camera with my armpit. The little tech tip here, as I learned from I think it's Bug Me Videos. It takes me back because they are on VHS. I know they do have some DVDs, but the last ones I bought were on DVS, DVR, DVS, VHS. Yes, they were on VHS, the big video cassette tapes. But yeah, I learned this from that guy. You can reuse these things just by taking your thumbs. These are really stiff because they're stainless steel, but just expanding them a little bit. Putting them back to kind of where they were new. That way you'll have a little bit more spring tension when you put them back in there. I know these stainless steel are a little bit more expensive than standard steel ones, but I do like running them. Sometimes I'll bug pack, and it was bug pack. I bet you CB Performance also sells them. They got a windage one where one of the ends is a little longer than the other, and it helps keeping the oil from splashing up into the tube, especially on number 3 and 4 side. Conversation with Jeremy on that, and he's having a hard time to believe that the oil can splash up into the tubes, but everybody says it does, and I always seem to have more oil on the net valve cover than on the other side. But it's the rotation of the crank. Spins around, the crank actually picks it up. And I don't, maybe the crank may not so actually do the splashing up in there, but I think it creates a current, and the current probably drives it up in there. But yeah, these are a little stiffer than the stock steel ones. My thumbs are getting a little raw. But yeah, like I said, I'm thinking 10 to 1, so I can run some ethanol. Probably E85 on the street, and I see they sell like an E95 and maybe even 100% ethanol for racing. That'll be the plan. What I did find is with my heads. These are like early CB Performance. You can say CB right here on this side. 044s. They're not their Magnum builds because they're not welded up or anything up here, not welded, but filled in. But I do got some wiggly valves. I don't know if you can see this, but they wiggle up and down a little bit. I got some sloppy valve guides, and it's just enough to lose some pressure, some seal, some compression. So I got to get these all cleaned up. I did get ordered from CB Performance some new valve guides. They were aluminum silicone bronze guides. I don't know what's in here. These are whatever my head builders uses. He actually is kind enough to cut them and machine them down, so they're like a racing valve seat, but CB Performances are already kind of short and then narrowed for more flow. But yeah, I got some cleaning up to do. Get these chambers all cleaned and brushed again, and then get them back up to Jim Green so he can somehow get them up to Jim Green. With this whole, he's an older fella, and last thing I want to do is get him sick, so probably just gonna have to drop him off and not to let him sit outside and get him when he can. But yeah, hopefully that'll do the trick. I don't really have a whole lot of miles on these per se, but the engine has been together for probably 8 years. Done more sitting than driving, so I don't know if that caused the short life of the valve guides, or if it's the cam lift, heavy springs, or maybe my geometry just wasn't right there. I'll have to look at all that when we start putting things back together. But like I said before, the engine's built to go 100 miles an hour, not 100,000 miles. So that's what we're going to build it for again. Hopefully to do maybe more like 120 mile an hour in a quarter. Yeah, an update here on, you guys have been following, I've been having trouble with exhaust gaskets, but update here. I tried these copper ones. I think they were an MP products that are bubbled out, and I was able to get 3 out of the 4 to seal. You can see this one, I had some slip by, and I didn't run it that long. I think I went up and down the street once, and then sat here in the garage and idled most of the time. But I'm happy with these results. One of the reasons I'm thinking about increasing the compression a little bit, so I can take a couple of those shims out of there, and that'll bring my engine, so you can see that'll bring my engine together this way, and maybe I can actually get that header there to seal. If not, I gotta do some modifying on the header, and I don't really want to have to do that. Best bet would probably be maybe to find someone that can build me a header, but then again, budget builder, and custom built headers are not cheap. I do like A1 performance headers, and if I do start looking into one, they'll probably be the first people I contact. All right, in closing here, I'd like to close out with sharing a video I watched earlier this week. A young kid calls himself Billy the Kid. It's the street racing channel, and it was also on his girlfriend's channel, Molly's Motorsports, I think it is. I'll link those both down below, but it's a great video. If you're like me and you enjoy 50 theme movies or 50 era cars, it's good. It's a short film. I think Billy's actually driving his grandfather's 55 Chevy, something his grandfather had bought. It's been in the family the whole life, and I do remember seeing him and his father doing a video on where they got it running again for his grandfather. He's actually got another video on his channel where they got a Camaro running for a friend, a cancer survivor. So those are two videos on his channel to check out. But like I said, I'll link Billy's and Molly's channel down below. But yeah, it's a great video. I love 50 era cars. I don't know where they found the police car, the Mayberry police car, but used to be one in the area here in the mid-Michigan that used to run around. I don't know if it's the same car or not. I think Billy is from the Illinois or Indiana area. I think it's Illinois. Yeah, Billy's channel is kind of themed for street racing, but he does do a couple other things on there. And yeah, I really enjoyed this video. I enjoyed it so much that I watched it twice. So yeah, I don't know the family. I don't know Billy personally. I don't know Molly. This isn't a paid review or anything. It's just something that I really enjoyed, and I thought I would share with you guys. So hats off. I'd take my hat off, but I've got quarantine here. But anyways, people, we'll keep the flat side down and the shiny side up, and until next time, I'll catch you later.